Hello, Australia. My name is Joaquin de Lima, and I'm your Libertarian Party candidate in the upcoming federal election in the division of Macquarie, which is the Blue Mountains and Hawkesbury. Today, I wanted to respond to some correspondence that I've gotten from groups that are concerned with women's rights, and they seem to be particularly concerned with some changes in the Sex Discrimination Act. So I'll go through the correspondence that they've sent me, and then I'll cover my thoughts on that. Okay, so this is the flyer. If you're just listening to this in the background, the title is Restore Women's Rights in the Sex Discrimination Act. It says the issue. The Sex Discrimination Act 1984 was created to protect women from discrimination and ensure our safety, dignity, and equality. However, amendments in 2013 removed the biological definitions of woman and man and introduced gender identity. These changes have eroded the legal clarity of protections for women and undermined their ability to access female-only spaces, services, and opportunities. The implications. This has blurred the distinction between sex and gender in law, leading to confusion and undermining protections for women and girls. States and territories have since introduced sex self-identification laws, allowing men to access female-only spaces by self-identifying as women. They go on to say impacts on women's rights. Reduced legal clarity regarding women's sex-based protections, challenges to women's access to female-only spaces, including crisis centers, shelters, hospital wards, and changing facilities. Legal disputes over women's sports, grants, awards, and services specifically designed for women. Cases where raising concerns about these issues has resulted in legal challenges. And then it says why this matters to women voters. Women voters care deeply about protecting our rights to safety, privacy, and dignity. Female-only spaces are essential for addressing systemic inequalities we face in a male-dominated society. These protections are not just legal, they are vital for achieving meaningful equality. Now comes the call to action. What we need from you as a candidate. Commit to restoring protections. Reinstate clear legal definitions of woman and man in the Sex Discrimination Act. Demand female-only spaces. Ensure that organizations understand it is lawful to provide female-only spaces under the Act. Prioritize women's safety. Advocate for policies that protect women's access to female-only services and opportunities. It goes on to say, women are watching. This is a vote-changing issue for us. Women voters want leaders who will stand up for our protections and ensure that the law works for us, not against us. And this is from the Affiliation of Australian Women's Action Alliances. Okay, so let's move on to the Libertarian Party policies. So if we go back to good old lpnsw.org.au/federal, that's where you'll find all of our policies. We have a specific area for women and children. So let's go over what these policies are and see how they align to what this flyer is saying. The rights of women to establish and maintain female-only spaces like sports and changing rooms is increasingly under threat. While changes to the Sex Discrimination Act have been weaponized to further erode freedom of association, parents or legal guardians must be involved in any discussion or treatment if a child is questioning their gender. Encouraging children to embrace their inherent worth and biological bodies is essential, yet irreversible medical interventions often overshadow this approach. The Libertarian Party advocates for restoring clarity and parental rights to ensure women's freedoms and children's well-being are protected. So this is what we want to do. Restore the legal definition of a woman in the Sex Discrimination Act. So I think if we go back to what they were asking for, that ticks off the first one. Ensure that women have the freedom to create and maintain exclusive spaces. That covers off the second one, defend female-only spaces. Repeal legislation that forces women to accept biological men into bathrooms, change rooms, or clubs. That could partially cover the third one, which was prioritize women's safety. Allow sporting bodies to establish female-only categories and exclude biological men from women's sport. restrict gender transition surgery and hormone treatment to adults, ensure that parents, psychologists, chaplains, and health practitioners can affirm an individual's inherent worth or encourage acceptance of their biological bodies. So I think it's pretty fair to say that the Libertarian Party policies are in line with these requests and these concerns and the three things that they want me to commit to as a candidate. So I think you can say that I agree with that. Okay, so now I'll go over my own thoughts on this particular issue, I guess. So I believe that a woman is a adult human female. The human sorry, I just had to fix some pictures falling off the wall there. The human race is a man and a woman. That's how we evolved. That's how we reproduce. That's how we are biologically different to fit different roles. One of us needs to be able to carry the next generation, and the other one is more biologically designed to ensure that they are protected and that they are cared for and that they survive to go to the next generation. I've got two daughters. They compete in competitive sports that are quite physical, BJJ, and there's no way in hell that they could compete fairly against a man that's trying to pass themselves off as equal to a woman. The whole point of the distinction in categories to begin with is because that there are biological differences to people. If you want to identify and call yourself whatever you want, that's fine. The way that libertarian policy works is that you have the freedom to do what you want to do, as long as it doesn't encroach on the freedom of someone else to do whatever they want to do. So if people want to have female-only sports, they should be able to do that. If females want to only compete against other females, however they choose to classify that, they should be able to do that. I definitely do not agree with this whole transhumanist idea that people can just decide their gender like they can decide their hairstyle, or they can decide they were a goth if you're of that generation. I think it's something that is pretty insidious, and that it's inherently designed to weaken the family unit, which is the best defense against a state, and it's the best check against a state. So if we want to be able to have liberty and freedom and be able to maintain that balance and try to keep that into the future, then I very much believe and advocate for, again, you can do whatever you want, but what I do and what I advocate for is to have a healthy nuclear family and have over replacement rate of children, and teach them the importance of making people that understand the importance of making people that understand the importance of making people. Our replacement rate and our fertility rates, it's all pretty shocking, and I'm definitely not in the camp of people that look at human beings as separate to nature. I find it very interesting how a lot of people that are more inclined to be leaning towards environmental issues and nature and animals and things like that, they look at humanity as separate from that. I will guarantee that they believe in evolution, but for some reason humans don't count when you're talking about nature and biology and ecology and things like that. So yeah, I think I've made my point pretty clear on that one. So let's see how we go with this one. If I've offended you, engage with me. I guarantee you that I can take it. We need to have free speech. That's another important thing that we covered during this video, is that you need to be able to say what you think without being afraid that you're going to, or maybe you can just take it. It depends on the individual. But we need to be able to say what we think, and if we can't, then we don't have a representative democracy. If you can't speak, you can't claim that you're being able to exercise your political will. I'll leave it there. What are we at? Nearly 10 minutes. There we go. Okay, a bit of a longer one. Thanks very much. If you got angry at this video, or if you agreed with it, either way, Let's have some engagement and figure it out. Thanks very much. See you next time. You made it to the end of the video. If you're still here, you can help for nothing by sharing with your contacts and engaging with this video. If I made you angry, why don't you give me a piece of your mind? I promise that I can take it, and I won't ask the government to silence you. If you want to do more, you can donate using these links, or you can sign up to be a volunteer using these links. And if you want to join the party, you can do so using these links. If you're just listening to this in the background, all the links can be found at lpnsw.org.au. And as always, this video is authorised by me, Joaquin de Lima, for the Libertarian Party, 2 Lynn Parade, Prestons, New South Wales 2170.